Hi guys, internet. Hello internet. I don't know. My name's Emma, if you don't know me. So today I want to talk about my bullet journal. And for those of you who don't know what bullet journaling is, I guess it's just like a really easy and creative way to track like what's going on in your life. So if you're like me and you have really bad like anxiety, I guess, it kind of can help alleviate some of that because you just like have all your information laid right out and you're like, okay, cool, this is what I'm doing, this is what's going on, this is how I've been lately, and this is what I'm planning on doing. So it's like a planner slash calendar sketchbook journal thing. Things are crazy, and so this is what I decided to do to keep myself busy, and if it turns out, then great. And if you guys want to know some tips and tricks on what I do for my bullet journal and like what tools I use and stuff, then yeah, keep watching and thank you. So I just want to say, like, everybody's journal is different. You don't have to do things the same way that I do them. You don't have to do things the same way that anybody else does them. Yeah, like, everything is up to interpretation, and this is just for fun. So that's just like a disclaimer, I guess. Yeah, this is my bullet journal. It's just a moleskin, like, black journal. It's lined with, like, grids, like squares. I used to have a different bullet journal, which I will put here. And that one I actually liked better because nothing seeped through the pages quite as bad, and it also was dotted instead of like squared, and so you didn't see so much on your page, but you could still track what you were doing without like a ruler, I guess. So I actually like that one better, but this is the one I have now. Yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna I'll go through like my March spread. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through my like March bullet journal. I just printed this from my like Instax printer. This is a little quote. I just have some flowers that I drew. It says Hello March 2020, in case I forget that it's March 2020. And then here I just have like my mood tracker, my habit tracker. So for my mood tracker, it's just like, you know, how you're feeling on each day. Really helpful this month because shit's crazy. And then habit trackers, this is just like smaller like goals, things you want to make sure that you're doing, and then how often that you do them. And then just some more little doodles. This is my like highlight of the day page. So it's just like, yeah, so things I'm grateful for, or things that happened that day that were really fun. I just have like the whole month down the side. And I have my expenses log, so that's just for me to keep track of what I'm spending on stuff. And then I have my weekly logs. So here's my week 1. They're all pretty similar. Week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay, so I just want to show you guys like the pens that I use. These are all ones that I do recommend. They do a really good job of like not bleeding through to the other side of the page. So you can have like a full like art page or whatever and like draw on one side and then flip the page and it won't really show through on the other side. Not big enough to like make a big difference anyways. So these are the pencils that I use. I'm a perfectionist, so I outline everything in pencil before I outline it in like black. You don't have to do that. It takes a ton of time and it makes no difference, but that's what I do. This is like a Palomino Blackwing pencil. I got it at Opus, which is like an art store. I just like them. They're just good. I don't know what to say. They don't break and they last for like a long time. I've literally had these for like 2 years. I have like 6 of them, all in like different kinds. Like I have black and then I have like gray and white. The white one's kind of my favorite, but they all just like, they're really good. I don't know. You can use regular pencils. I'm just showing you because I use these pencils. And then my outliner is this guy right here. He's a Micro 500. I got this at Staples. It's by Pigma. It just works really good. It's like a black fine tip, but it's not, if you use like a Sharpie fine tip, it will bleed like right through to the other side, and then you can't use the other side of the page. So for my highlighters, I use these guys right here. This is the Artist's Loft watercolor dual tip marker, which sounds like a lot of words for a marker, because it is, but they're just like highlighters. I have tons of different colors. Like, they're all really good. They last quite a while. So this end is like a brush tip, and then the other end is like a fine tip. I got these at Michael's too, and I used to have different ones like the Stadler. I'll put them there. And they're just the same idea where it's like, a highlighter on one end and then like a fine tip on the other end, and they work really well. I like those ones too. They're just the same kind of idea. I think those ones were cheaper though, and then they just didn't have them the next time I went to a Michael's. So I guess I'm gonna talk about some like tips that I have for if you're new to bullet journaling or if you're just starting. Tip number 1 would be not to be too hard on yourself. It doesn't have to be pretty. You don't have to look like Amanda Rachel bullet journaling. Like, don't let Pinterest like bully you into like not thinking that yours is good enough. Just like, it's just a journal. Like, it just doesn't have to be pretty. Like, it's just a way for you to keep track of things. If you want it to be pretty, great. If you want it to be pretty and it's not turning out pretty, it'll be better next month. Like, all you're gonna do is get better. It's just a way for you to be creative and keep track of things, and don't be too hard on yourself if it doesn't turn out the way that you want, like, because a lot of the time stuff doesn't turn out the way that I want, and I'm hard on myself. Like, I'm a perfectionist, so I'll be like, ew, I didn't like that, so I guess I just won't bullet journal for the whole month of February. Like, which is dumb. But if I like do a theme page and I'm like, ew, gross, then I literally won't bullet journal. So don't be like me. Be better than me. Tip number 2 would be, don't try to invest too much into it before you know that you like it. So like, I have some friends who've wanted to start bullet journaling, so I've like gone out, got all the stuff, got all the supplies. This stuff is like, my package of these were like $16 for like 24 markers, but that was on sale, I think. But if you buy a lot of the stuff, like, it gets pretty pricey here. So I would say, like, don't be like, don't invest in it right away. Like, it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people who are like, I hate that, I could never keep up with that. Like, if you want to get started, great. It's super easy to do it with a pencil and some pencil crayons. That is how I started, and that's how I did it for the first several months before I was like, oh yeah, I like this. I'm gonna actually buy stuff to do this with. This is not a necessity. It is fun, and I like them, and you don't need them. For tip number 3, I would say just like, be creative, do whatever you want. You can take inspiration, there's tons of stuff on Pinterest, on YouTube, like, there's tons of people who are really incredible at it, like 1,000,001 times better than I could ever be at it. So take inspiration from them, but just like, be creative and do your own thing. It's just a way for you to have a little bit of like artistic influence in your life while still doing something that's going to benefit you, and still doing something that's going to help you like get your mind straight and like keep track of things. Like, okay, yeah, so that's everything, I guess. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you again sometime.